how do you approach the business. But like most other businesses, in other genres and other fields, we have a systematic problem in the news industry at multiple levels. So we spoke about the only source of revenue being advertisement, which should not be the case, ideally. And if that were to change, obviously the revenue streams and income streams would also change. But the larger point over here is that, we have to look at the systematic problem that plagues the industry and why we are in the position that we are. And that is at multiple levels. The first being that, not realizing the fact that, this industry is changing and evolving a lot. And the bulk of the challenge, since we spoke about consolidation and other factors, is not coming from within. It's coming from new avenues and new areas that are becoming challengers. So, traditional broadcast businesses are now actually facing challenge from independent content creators. And I think going forward, we really need to concentrate on how we actually monetize each and every aspect, just to extend to what PK was saying. How do we monetize each and every aspect of it and create new revenue streams? We can't be traditionally based on just pure play advertising and think that is what will make us profitable per se. There's also, a whole reorientation of how we approach solutions and problems. So it's a tough business, it goes without saying. It's not an easy business because it's highly capital intensive, human resource intensive. But it's changing in multiple manifestations. I think the most important point here is also to understand that the industry is evolving. And while we have not reached a finite point, it is like any other capital economy and capital market. Until unless you don't remove the inefficiencies from the system, the businesses will not become very profitable. To inefficiencies, I'm talking about reach, I'm talking about distribution, I'm talking about other factors which tend to take away a large chunk of the monies from the businesses per se. Whereas being a content creator and being free-to-air networks, we should be able to decimate our content and it should be able to reach to the last person free of cost. Well, these are problems, systematic problems which lie in the system. And if they were actually in spirit, in letter and spirit, brought in the way they are supposed to be, I don't think the business should be unprofitable.
Right. Thank you, Karthik. My bit on it is that I think any business or any identity will have to be true to the core. I don't think that any one of us can afford to contradict our existence, which is that of a fourth estate. And business should happen around it, which is a byproduct. I mean, if you're true to your core and if you're efficient enough, I think business comes. But even then, there are challenges. Like Karthik spoke about evolution, still evolving. News industry always faces some atypical challenges, which is typical to us, which is not there in the industry. Like, for instance, I think we say television media. Television media generalizing GECs and news. I think GEC and news, as far as business structure is concerned, is as diverse as between news and FMCG. GEC, you go the traditional way, you figure out what the consumer wants, you create that content and you disseminate that. But here, we don't create content. So there are challenges and the stagnation of growth. In fact, it's a degrowth. So the industry faces challenges, and the biggest challenge then again is that it's free to air. And as Karthik said, while it is free to air, to reach the consumer, we have to shell out from our pocket. So don't you think that, starting with maybe Vikram, that when we say news media and television media, we take a liberty of generalizing that. They are not one and the same, and the challenges are very typical to news industry.
Look, I'm not sure I'll agree that from an advertising standpoint, we need to have different standards for the news genre.